This is VP4 TV. Here is a list of scheduled upcoming matches in this year's VP4 2022 World 10 Ball Championship. I will try and stream as many matches as I can, although time zone differences will be an issue. I must thank those players who take this into consideration when arranging their matches. Please subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channels to join in the stream chat. This is VP4 TV. Here is a list of scheduled upcoming matches in this year's VP4 2022 World 10 Ball Championship. I will try and stream as many matches as I can, although time zone differences will be an issue. Here for TV. Here is a list of scheduled upcoming matches in this year's VP4 2022 World 10 Ball Championship. I will try and stream as many
Well, I'm still having problems with this XSplit broadcaster. I'm losing audio for some reason. I don't know what's causing it. Spent all afternoon having a look at it. We're back in VP4 TV. We're here for week 8 of Saturday Night 9 Ball. Now, I think I forgot to change my title thing as well. Hang on to test this. Let me test this. Hang on.
To VP4 TV. You're watching a Tactical Genius production. Please welcome your commentary team for this match, 9ball.com and Super Admin aka Steve Chapman, CEO and President of Celeris, Inc. Good luck to both players and have a good one.
Yeah, that's wrong as well. Let me just check something. Let me just test this.
This is VP4 TV, a Tactical Genius production. Tonight is VP4 League Night. It is 9-ball and is a handicapped event. If you are interested in future league nights or perhaps as a possible sub for any of the current teams, then please discuss this with the relevant team captain. You can always ask in the chat lobby if you are unsure.
Well, I managed to change the audio in that. I forgot to do it earlier on, but I've been messing about all day and I don't think it's really made a great deal of difference. But anyway, we're going to go with it in the meantime. We're a few minutes away from the start. All of my team, VP4 TV, has arrived. The lineup for the night for VP4 TV is Stevo UK, Mark Shark, and Fuzzy Dunlop. The lineup for Team Pinas is Jova, Paul, and Apollo 999. Now let's have a look. I don't see Apollo 999. I don't know where they're getting these players from. Jover's there. Paul is there. And the 999 guy hasn't showed so far. It's always a worry. This guy, Bullabog, by the way, he's never played a match. I don't think he showed up for any of the weeks. It's not that he hasn't been put in. He's got no matches, no racks won or nothing. And this Apollo 99's a new guy, and he's not here at the moment. But anyway, that's for them to worry about, not for me. Breaking the system, we have Wit, Larry, and Christian. Team Omega, we have Mr. Fox, Cheeky Chico, and Ice Age. That is VP4 TV's opposition tonight, I think. And 9-ball shots, we have Bobby Barris, Sergeresh, Bankster, and lovely bunch of coconuts. They're going with the big guns again tonight. Semi-Pro, Bill, and then Little Wolf. So that is a set lineup. If we go to the schedule of the schedules, we'll see that it's Team Pinas against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, Breaking the System against 9-ball shots, and Omega versus BP4 TV. So obviously I'm going to be keeping a fair eye on what's happening with my team. And the rooms for League Night should be going up in a minute or two. We're looking for Little Wolf. I don't see Little Wolf either. So Apollo 999 is one of the players that I don't see. So again, there seems to be a couple of guys missing. Hang on a sec. It looks as if there's going to be forfeits tonight again. Looks very likely. So it is gone the top of the hour. These rooms should be going up any second. Let's just try that again.
This is VP4 TV, a tactical genius production. Tonight is VP4 League Night. It is 9-ball and is a handicapped event. If you are interested in future League Nights or perhaps as a possible sub for any of the current teams, then please discuss this with the relevant team captain. You can always ask in the chat lobby if you are unsure.
Right, so the rooms are up. And we've got Ice Age against Fuzzy Dunlop, Apollo against Little Wolf, and Apollo 99. In fact, that's the curious thing. Apollo 999 and Little Wolf, neither of the two of them are here. Yep. Neither of the two of them are here. So that's going to be a forfeit straight away with those two. I can't see them. We've got Mr. Fox against Steve-O, Jover against Semi-Pro, Christian against Bobby Barris. Now, is Christian here? Christian's here. Larry against Bankster. Presumably, Bankster is here. He's in the chat. He's still not in the room. Paul against Mr. Bill. We know Paul was here. Bill is here. Cheeky Chico against Mark Shark. So, and again, neither of the two of them in the room. Well, one's gone in now. So, they're off and running. So let's go to the matches tab, and we can keep an eye on the scores, but we can also see what the handicaps are. Steve was getting the 8-ball, and that's still going to be a tough ask for Steve-O against Mr. Fox. Mark Shark is getting the last two, against Cheeky Chico, and Ice Age is getting 7 and out against Poseidon Lock. So we'll see how that goes. And Wit and Sergresh are playing scratch. Larry is given the 8-ball to Bankster. Christian's getting the last 2 against Bobby Barris. And, well, we've already said about Apollo and Little Wolf. Little Wolf was getting 6 and out. But unless 2 of them have showed up now and the room's about to get up, they're not here. Jova is getting 7 and out against Semi-Pro. And Paul is getting the last 2 against Mr. Bill. So, some tough matches. Let's have a look. And I can't understand why people want to be in this and then can't be bothered turning up. That's the bit that puzzles me. And very often it's people that aren't around here very much or relatively new. They get the idea of doing this thing and then they can't be bothered showing up. Yeah, Little Wolf and Apollo nowhere to be seen. Right, so let's have a quick look at the scores. And Steve-O for VP4 TV is 1-0 up against Mr. Fox. Now, Cheeky Chico, is he not showed up? Cheeky Chico isn't here either, because he's in the second match for in the VP4 TV lineup. But Mark Sharp's there, I know he's here, but Cheeky Chico hasn't showed either. And Poseidon Lock's up 1-0 against Ice Age. So, in the breaking the system versus 9-ball shots, it's 0-0 with Wit and Sergresh. And it's the same with Larry and Bankster. And Christian has won the first rack against Bobby Barris. In the third tie tonight, Team Pinas, Jover is 1-0 up against Semi-Pro, and Paul 24 is 1-0 up against Bill. So that's at least 3 players haven't shown. Now that's either because they're not getting notifications that they're in the team, they're not receiving the messages, or it's just that they're not communicating back to their captain to let them know that they can't make it. Simple as that. And I know that if one of my players didn't turn up 5 minutes before the start of it, I would, if there was one of my other teammates there, I would throw them in instead before the top of the hour. So as long as you get last minute timing right, you can easily swap a player over before the top of the hour. But anyway, that's for the other team captains to worry about if they're organised enough. Right, so quick look. It's now 1 rack all with Mr. Fox and Steve-O. And still Poseidon Lock with a 1-0 lead against Ice Age. Breaking the system in 9-ball shots. Sergresh for 9-ball shots is 1-0 up. And Bankster still 1-0 up against Larry. Christian is 1-0 up against Bobby Barris. And then in the bottom match, we've got Jova and Semi-Pro 1 rack all. And Paul tied 1 rack all with Bill. So that's the latest scores. Quick tab out. So let's have a little run through the rooms. Well, Mr. Fox is going to go 2-1 up here. A good enough break as far as a ball in the break goes, but no shot in the one. And it was Steve-O's money ball that went down, and it has come back up. I don't know whether Steve-O wants to take this on and maybe give it back to Mr. Fox, because obviously the one doesn't pot, but Steve has got to find a decent safety here. Needs to miss that 9, and he needs not to scratch either. So let's leave him to it before we jinx him anymore. And we have Ice Age and Fuzzied and Lock. Now, what does Tam want? Well, Tam was asking if there's any stream. I don't think anybody's watching. I think I'm the only one here tonight. Unless Tam joins in. So Fuzzied and Lock for VP4 TV is 2-0 up at the moment. But Ice Age is getting 7 and out. And he's overcut that 6 ball by a mile. And the cue ball's leaked out. And Fuzzy should be 3-0 up here. Well, he almost scratched with the cue ball. Good evening to that, Nicker. And as expected, Cheeky Chico hasn't shown up, so that's a forfeit to Mark Shark for VP4 TV. So the 3 players haven't turned up tonight. Good evening to that, Nicker. Good evening to Tam. I don't know what's up. But as I say, I've been messing about with this today, and it's still not working properly. I don't know what's going on with it. So we'll leave this match. Fuzzy Dunlop's got a comfortable lead at the moment. And what else have we got? Well, we saw Mr. Fox going 2-1 up against Steve-O. And in the matches below, Segresh is 2-1 up against Wit. Bankster is 3-0 up against Larry. And Christian is 3-0 up against Bobby Barris. Jover is 2-all with Semi-Pro, and Paul is 2-all with Bill. Now let's have a quick look at what that miss was there. And Ice Age this time is going to get off the mark because that was fuzzied and locked, missing the 6 bolt. And Ice Age has just got an easy 7 to get on the board. Right, so let's go in and we'll have a look at Bankster against Larry. Bankster 3-0 up. If we can get in, that is. I put Discord on. In fact, I'm just going to tab out and shut it down because I put it on just in case Steve was going to drop in, but no sight nor sound of him either again, so I'll switch that off. That's one less resource running. And meanwhile, Larry got to get up for this 7 ball. Pace looks reasonable enough. Looking to get off the mark. Probably take this 8 ball into the side or that top left hand corner. Well, he's going to play it top left hand corner, and that will give Larry his first rack in the board. So we'll give him this one. Let's have a look at. Well, Bill's quickly going 4-2 up against Paul in that bottom match. And Jover is getting 7 out against Semi-Pro. Let's go into that one. And it's now 3-2 to Semi-Pro. Well, he's got a problem. Apart from the fact he's sitting nicely in the 1, and he's going to be good in the 2. He's got to think about how he ends up on this 4 ball. Problem with that is he's still got to travel to get to the 4 ball. Now, does the 4 go past the 6? Yes, it does. And what's the angle like? Well, he's got the wrong angle. Let's have a look. Now, if he plays this with loads of right-hand English, he's probably going to scratch. It would need such an amount of power, not only to get that cue ball moving, but the amount of right English he puts on it, it may well just fire it into the corner pocket. Well, he's played a brilliant little billiard there instead, and that was well thought out. So it's going to be, or it should be, 4-2 to Semi-Pro, and the big guns for the Coconut team are getting the job done. Did he? Oh no, he's the same rating as he had last week. 2465. Well, it all started with Semi-Pro's idea of getting mine put up, and then it all backfired on him, so it served him right. He should have kept his mouth shut. That's what I said. So, 4-2 to Semi-Pro, a ball in the break, and a shot in the 1, but he's going to be hampered. Right, we'll leave him to that. Let's have a look and see what else is happening. Bill is still 4-2 up in that bottom match. Let's go from the top. It's now looking bad for Steve-O for VP4 TV. He's 4-1 down. Mark Shark, of course, got that win by forfeit. And Fuzzy Dunlop is now 3-2 up against Ice Age, so it's running close there. Sergeresh, though, for 9-ball shots is 4-1 up against Wit. Larry's got 2 on the board now. He's trailing by 1. 3 racks to 2, and it's looking comfortable for Christian getting the last 2 against Bobby Barris. Christian's 4-0 up. So I think we'll stay out of the Steve-O room in case he blames me for jinxing him, I should say. Has anybody watched the snooker today? Because I haven't. I've been busy trying to mess with this thing, so I don't know. I don't know who was playing in the semi-finals. I saw a bit of the highlights of last night. It was Mark Allen against Mark Williams. I'm assuming that Mark Allen won that, but I haven't a clue what's happened in the snooker today. Plus the fact I was watching the football when I got home as well. The Hearts Celtic game. So who's in the final? Does anybody know? Well, that's not a bad hit. I mean, he got the hit in the 3. Trying to billiard onto the 9. Oh, I think he's corner hooked. Yeah. Well and truly on that 3 ball. And the 9 ball's in the way. And of course, Ice Age was 7 and out. Is going to have ball in hand to try and get there. Trouble is with these sort of handicaps, a match in a race to 7 can turn badly very quickly. But Ice Age is not even taking the time to set himself up. I mean, that was awful. Not even lining the pot up. Well, the attempted bank there on the 3 ball, but look where he's put the cue ball. Stuck Ice Age behind that 4, so now a good chance for Fuzzy Dunlop to get a little bit of daylight again. Quick look while he's lining up. It's looking bad for Mark. He's 5-1 down now. So I don't think he's getting many opportunities to get to that 8 ball by the look of it. And in the breaking the system 9 ball shots tie, Sergeresh is 4-2 up against Wit. Larry squared it from 3-0 down. He's now 3-all with Bankster. And Christian is 4-1 up against Bobby Barris. So Bobby Barris has got off the mat. And then further down we've got in the Team Pinas lovely bunch of coconuts match, we've got Jova, who's got back to within 1, getting 7 and out against semi-pro. But Mr. Bill is got a 2 rack lead now, 5-3 against Paul. So it's not looking good for Team Pinas down at the bottom there, and it's certainly not looking good for Mark in that first tie against Mr. Fox. So Cheeky Chico, Paulo and Little Wolf, none of those 3 players showed up tonight. Welcome to Hog. What the hell happened to Fuzzy Dunlop there? Because it's now 3 racks all. I mean, he had ball in hand and the table at his mercy. How did he manage to lose that? So there's a bit of carelessness going on here from my teammate. I think you could get in one of these teams, Mr. Hogg, because there's unreliability, and certainly in this team Pinas, there's unreliability. Oh, Fuzzy Dunlop's tried a jump to get to the 3, and then of course he skimmed off the 3 when it bounced back and scratched. So it's it's very quickly taking a bad turn here for Fuzzy Dunlop. And if Ice Age can just get out onto this 6 ball, he's left himself a bit short. It would have been much easier just to roll that in straight and leave the 7 into the side. He's given himself more work to do, but now he suddenly knows how to pot a ball. Although again, his positional play is way short of the mark. He's leaving himself tough work to do. Well, now Fuzzy is going to have to play the cut down the rail in this 8 ball, and he's going to have to leave an angle. Well, he's got some sort of an angle. Is it going to be enough though to get onto this 9? That's the worry I've got. Yeah. And it is going badly wrong here for Fuzzy Dunlop. It'll be Zhu Yu Long versus Mark Allen. Neil Robertson's in the final. Ah, right. So that match will be getting played tonight then. That other semi-final. That'll be on right now, as a matter of fact. So I don't think this is helping Fuzzy Dunlop, me being in the room, because he's suddenly gone all over the place. Let's just have a look around. Steve-O has managed to get another rack in the board for VP4 TV, but Mr. Fox is still comfortable with a 5-2 lead. Meanwhile, Larry has gone behind against Bankster again. Sergeresh is now 4-3 up against Witt. And Christian's 4-1 up against Bobby Barris. In the bottom match, Semi-Pro has now got a 2-rack lead again against Jover, 5 racks to 3, and Bill is 5-4 up against Paul. Let's go into that match. Now, Bill at the table, bumping the 9, and he should be on the hill. Aye, the first frame will just be finishing probably. Well, Bill's taking his eye off the ball. The old 9ball.com jinx has worked again. And Paul just needs to pot the 8 to be all square. Now a ball in the break, and a thin cut in the 1. 2 ball right in the middle of the table. He's bound to have a shot in the 2 ball somewhere in this table, because all pockets are available. Nope, he sent it to the rail way too soon, and he's going to scratch. Once again, when you're playing that shot, the pot is difficult, but you've got to play it with a little bit of inside English to change the path of the cue ball when it hits that rail. Because when you're running it, you know it's going to take that line heading towards that corner pocket. But putting English on it makes the shot that much more difficult. So you're right in your luck playing that plain ball. So Bill has been reprieved, but he's going to have to get right down here and try and get onto this line for the combo in the 4-5. And that is excellent. Well, I don't think he could have played that much better. Let's see if that works.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
Well, sort of. So the 4 ball back in play. I think he's actually maybe got a slight angle in this just to come across. Doesn't want it to go too straight, that's fine. You can now nip across. And there's the result through for Team Coconut. Semi-pros won that match against Jover 7 racks to 3. And of course this is the second match in that tie. And Bill is 1 away. Now, let's see what's happening. Steve-O is now 5-3 behind against Mr. Fox. Fuzzy Dunlop has squared it to 4 racks all against Ice Age in that top tie. It's now gone 6-3 to Mr. Fox. So he's 1 away from a win. And Witt and Sergresh are tied at 4 racks all. Bankster's on the hill against Larry. He's 6-3 up now after Larry's comeback from 3-0 down. And Christian on the hill as well against Bobby Barris. So there's a couple of good results on the card there coming through, one for either team. And then this match here will be the decider in this tie by the look of it, between Witt and Sergresh. So how's it going here? Well, Paul at the table. He's got the thin cut in the 1, and he's not really going to have a shot in the 2 because he can't get to the 2 to pot it. So he's got to look for a half decent safety here. Now if he banks the 2, he's got to play this gentle and try and use the 5. He's not trying to pot that. That was never on, Paul. What kind of eyes have you got? In fact, it was a foul. I mean, that was stupid. That was just crazy trying to convince himself he could see that 2 to pot it. It was never going to happen. Suddenly Steve's appeared. So Bill, the 5 ball goes. This is going to be a good shot to miss the traffic. Yeah, that was a tall order, but Bill's going to... I don't know whether he feels he can jump this at this distance. I don't think so. So, oh, he's fluked to 7 on the side. Would you believe it? That's got to hurt. And this isn't easy, this 6 ball. And Bankster has come up with a win against Larry. 7 racks to 3. Well, Bill's in a bit of a hurry here. 2 for the price of 1. And again, a tough 9 ball. Looks as if he's going in this corner. And that was well done. Well, Paul, you've got to play something sensible, Paul, rather than trying to coax yourself into believing that you could ever pot that ball. And in the end, the overall scheme of things, it cost him the match. So we've seen a few results there in the lobby. Back to the bracket, we can see that Mr. Fox is on the hill against Steve-O for Team Omega against VP4 TV. VP4 TV's already got one win in the board because of that forfeit. And Fuzzy Dunlop and Ice Age are tied at 5 racks all here. So again, the matches in the balance there, we're pretty much looking at a loss in the first one unless Steve-O can pull it out of the fire. And Witt is now 5-4 up against Sergaresh for Team Breaking the System. And Christian is on the hill against Bobby Barris. Christian shouldn't be long in getting that result done because he's 6-1 up, and I don't think Bobby Barris can come back from that. Meanwhile, Lovely Bunch of Coconuts are 2-0 up. Jova and Semi-Pro, Semi-Pro was 7-3 and Bill was 7-5. And then we need to concentrate on that result is through for Mr. Fox, so it's now one match all for Team Omega and VP4 TV. So now, if we drop in Ice Age at the table, getting 7 and out. And this is a danger for Fuzzy, because if he even if he pots this 5, and if he doesn't get good in the 6, he can't leave the 6 ball on because, and now he's scratched. Oh dear. Not a great deal of control over that shot. And like I say, when you start making mistakes at the business end of the rack, when you're given 7 and out, you're just asking for trouble. But Ice Age has still got to get the shot on this 7 ball. And he's left it fairly straight. And he should be on the hill. Another poor one from Fuzzy. He's gifting opportunities here for Ice Age. And that's the one thing you have to be careful of, is not making mistakes at the wrong time in the rack. I mean, no time is a good time, but when it's 7 and out and there's only like 4 balls left, scratching like that's just gifting the chance. So Fuzzy's going to have to win the last 2. This will it will cut past the 5. Cue ball's leaking away up the table. And now Fuzzy has his chance. Now, is he going to hold his nerve? Now, this needs to be gentle. It needs to be very gentle, this 4 ball. And don't hook yourself behind the 7, whatever you do. And again, the angle is reasonable enough in the 6 ball. Once again, just a dink into the side. Just a little roll. He's gone a bit too square. He could have done with rolling through another 5 or 6 inches at least. And now it's another one that may well cost him the match. Maybe he doesn't get this 8 ball in hole. And he's way off the mark. And now he has to hope it's as awkward as possible here for Ice Age. And Fuzzy's going to get his chance now to take it all the way. A fairly straightforward 8 ball. He can't miss this. And a 9 ball to follow. And Cheeky Chico suddenly arrived. He suddenly woke up after having forfeited his first match. He's now arrived. And that's going to scratch. And Fuzzy cannot find anything that's decent here. All these unforced errors and mistakes he's making is allowing Ice Age to try and pinch this match. Well, he's the wrong side of the 3, and it's a cut into the left side. And that needs to bounce, and it has. And Fuzzy needs to get right English on this cue ball. He needs to get it and maybe bump the 6 if he can. And I'm afraid that isn't the shot, Fuzzy. You've got to manoeuvre the cue ball. And that's a result through. Jova has won by forfeit because, again, Little Wolf hasn't shown up. And now Ice Age at the table. A dodgy shot in the 5 ball. Well, that's a good shot. Watch the cue ball, though. Well, just this 6 ball. And if he can get out and up onto the 7 without hooking himself behind the 8. And VP4 TV might live again here. But that's a cracking shot. That was well done. And so Ice Age has beaten Fuzzy Dunlop by 7 racks to 6. But Fuzzy's got nobody to blame but himself. He had far too many mistakes, I'm afraid, that cost him. And kept giving away enough chances for Ice Age to pinch it. And that's what happens. And so we've now got Team Omega two matches to 1 up against VP4 TV. And the second matches have started. Mark Shark is 1-0 up against Mr. Fox. The other 2 matches just to get underway. And Cheeky Chico is now going to be playing Fuzzy Dunlop. And Fuzzy Dunlop will be getting probably maybe the last 2 or something against Cheeky Chico. Breaking the system and 9 ball shots. That has gone hill with Witt and Sergres. Let's see if we can catch the end of that. Important match this in the scheme of things because 9 ball shots are already 1-0 up. And Christian is 6-2 up against Bobby Barris. That match seems to be taking an eternity. I mean, that's 40 odd minutes and they're still not done. So Witt has the chance, and this of course is a scratch match, no handicap. But Witt is now favourite. Now he just needs to bump this 5 in and bump the rail with the cue ball. He doesn't need to do any draw or anything like that. He's let it go forward. And Christian has finally won that match against Bobby Barris by 7 racks to 2. And Witt should be winning this, I say. He should be winning it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, goodness me. I'll tell you, his heart missed a beat there. Because that was a bit of an umpty shot. Drawn it back as far as that. Dyson with death. But he's going to get the win. Right, so that's a win for Wit. And it's a win for breaking the system to give them a 2-matches-to-1 lead. And in the bottom match, a lovely bunch of coconuts are 2-1 up in the overall match score. We've got Apollo 999 about to forfeit to Bill, so that'll be 3-1. And Little Wolf's already forfeited to Jober, so lovely bunch of coconuts have landed in their feet tonight. And Semi-Pro is 2-0 down against Paul. So if we look at the top matches, Mr. Fox is 2-1 up against Mark Shark. Steve-O and Ice Age have just started, and Cheeky Chico and Fuzzy have just started. And nothing happening in the second set of matches for breaking the system and 9-ball shots. They're all just underway. Jober, sorry, not Jober. Is that Bill on to his third match? Well, of course it is, because Apollo has forfeited that match, so that's now 3-1 to Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. And Bill's waiting to start his match with Jober. And Paul is 3-0 up against Semi-Pro. Let's jump into that. Semi-Pro going to have to play the jump here. This might end up nowhere in the 3-ball. Well, he's behind it. He can still cut it. I don't know whether he wants to draw off this to try and bump into something here. Yeah, he's tried to draw off it. I'm not sure exactly what he tried, because this is not where he wanted to be in the 4, I don't think. The 4 will bank, and it will cut. But of course, Semi-Pro's in the same dangerous position here. He's got an awkward 5-ball, and Paul's getting 7 and out. And Paul should be good enough to make the most of this. If Semi-Pro's overcut it, yeah. And so Paul, the 5, the 6, not a problem. And he should just be coming back for the 7 into the side. And he's actually got more of an angle in this 6. And if that just slows up, he should be good for a 4-0 lead. Now again, the problem there is, you know, Semi-Pro left it tough in the 5-ball, and with the level of play that Semi-Pro is at, he should basically not be missing anything. He should be getting better position on these balls, but that's the heavy price you pay when you're giving 7 and out to somebody who can at least pot some balls. If you start making mistakes again at that wrong time, 2 or 3 balls later, you've lost another rack. And Paul here, if he can get good in the 4 and can come up the left-hand side. Now, I think, let's have a look. Well, I think he's got to go 1, 2, 3 rails maybe. I don't know whether I think he's got to play the big stun. 1, 2, and the pace looks not bad. It's going a wee bit far. Alright. And the other problem is, he might catch some of this 9. Well, he's making sure he doesn't hit any of it, but that might not help him. Well, was it the previous match where Paul thought he could get to a ball? I think the bank is what you have to be playing here. The bank is always on here with this 7 ball. He's convinced he can get to the 7 to pot it. Yeah, he's played the bank. And this, if it bounces, has got semi-pro back under pressure because he's going to go all out for the cut down the rail. And knowing that if he gets it, he's bound to be on the 8 ball, but it's still a big pressure shot. These aren't easy. That again was well played. And so semi-pro is going to be off the mark here in this match. Meanwhile, Mr. Bill is tied 1-1 with Jover in that 3rd match. And top to bottom, we've got Mr. Fox 3-1 up against Mark Shark. Ice Age 2-1 up against Stevo. And Cheeky Chico 1 rack all with Buzzard and Lock. So again, it's not looking great for VP4 TV at the moment. Things need to start happening here. In the second tie, breaking the system of 9 ball shots, Sergresh 2-0 up against Christian, who's getting 5 and out. I mean, that's a hefty handicap for Christian. And Larry is 1-0 up against Bobby Barris, who's also getting 5 and out. So these 2 guys who are getting 5 and out, you know, they're really struggling to pot balls when they can't get to a 5 ball to win a rack. And then of course we've got Witt and Bankster. Bankster 2-0 up in that match. So at the moment breaking the system is 2-1 up. But 9 ball shots are in the lead in 2 matches in that second set of matches. And Bill 2-1 up against Jover. So we've got problems here, Team VP4 TV, and Mark Sharp is 3-1 down against Mr. Fox. He's left himself tough in the 5. Got to be the 6 if he doesn't bump the 9. And that's the price you pay. Not getting good. Welcome to Hazard. Oh, well, he didn't want that to happen. He wanted the 5 to stay in the table. He's going to have to dig out a cut in the 6. Yeah. And Mark Shark not getting good in the 5. It's costing him. It's now going to be 4-1. Right, quick look. We'll go into the match with Ice Age and Steve-O, and Ice Age is getting 7 and out in this one as well. And Steve-O having to try and kick, and he's way off the line with that. So ball in hand, Ice Age needs the 3, the 5 and the 6, and this is going to end up with a possible bank, or a really thin cut in the 5. I think it's more so the thin cut in the 5. But the pace is no good. Where he's left Steve-O under pressure to keep this safe, or he's going to go all out for the reverse bank, knowing that if he misses it, he's going to be losing the rack. Well, if Ice Age was brave enough, he could lock this cue ball onto the 8 ball, but he doesn't need to be. He's gone all out for the pot. That was well done. So Steve-O's safety wasn't good enough. And now 3-2 down. Right, let's have a look down. Serganesh and Christian getting 5 and out. Christian. And Larry's 2-0 up against Bobby Barris. Bobby Barris getting 5 and out. So Witt and Bankster. Bankster 3-0 up against Witt. And Paul is 5-1 up against Semi Pro. And Bill is 4-1 up against Jova. So let's have a look at the Witt Bankster match. Nice little bank by Bankster. This is Scratch, this match. Well, he's in between shots here. The natural shot would be to pot that 6 ball up table. Problem is the 8 ball's in the way, because you want to stun across for the 7 ball into this corner where we are. But if he comes back off the 6, he could have the 7 into the same pocket. And he's trying to bump the 8, and that was well done. That was a good shot. Well, it's tough for Witt. It's going to be 4-0 to Bankster. No way he's missing these 2. So we'll give him that. Meanwhile, Mr. Fox is 5-1 up against Mark Sharp. So again, it's looking grim for VP4 TV. It's even more grim. Ice Age is 4-2 up against Steve-O. And Cheeky Chico's 3-1 up against Fuzzy. And so it's all gone downhill for my team in the second set of matches. Everybody's behind. And in breaking the system in 9 ball shots, Sergresh is taking the lead against Christian. Larry's 3-0 up against Bobby Barris. And Bankster, of course, we've seen just go 4-0 up against Witt. And in the matches in the bottom tie between Team Pinas and a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, it's Paul on the hill against Semi-Pro, leading 6-2. Bill 5-1 up with a comfortable lead against Jova. So the overall score in that match is 3-1 at the moment to Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. But Paul looks as if he's going to get a point on the board for Team Pinas, or a second point on the board. So it looks as if it's going to be like 4-2 after the second set of matches there. But this is grim up top for my team. It's all looking bad. Right, we're going to watch this Steve-O match. Welcome to Cobra. And Steve-O's got back to within one rack. He's broke dry. No, he hasn't. The 4 ball's gone in. Now, what's he thinking here? Well, he hasn't got full cover. Well, that's overcut by the country mile there by Steve-O, but he's got second prize. So now Steve-O gets ball in hand. Now the 2 ball has a clean path to a pocket. So he's looking at the 1-9 combo. And I don't think I'd be hitting this too soft, because I wouldn't want to leave the 9 ball there. Well, the 1-8 combo for the rack and a 5-3 lead if Ice Age takes it on. And he has. And the 2 ball still in the same position. And he's overhit that again by a country mile. The touch is really poor. That is ran on 2 feet too far for the 2 ball. Well, that works. Quick look. And it is looking grim. It's now 6-2 to Mr. Fox against Mark Shark. Cheeky Chico 3-2 up against Fuzzy Dunlop in the second set of matches, breaking the system in 9 ball shots. Christian is now 4 racks to 2 behind against Sergresh, and Larry is 4-1 up against Bobby Barris. And in the final match, Bankster is 4-1 up still against Witt. And then further down, we have, now bearing in mind, Apollo and Little Wolf were no shows here, so this is going to be a A bit of a cakewalk for lovely bunch of coconuts. Semi-Pro's got it back to 6-3 behind against Paul. Bill is on the hill against Jova. So these matches, or this tie will be the first one finished. Bill's now won his match, and lovely bunch of coconuts are 4-1 up. So they're going to have another win tonight, no doubt about that. Meanwhile, Fuzzies and Locks now 4-2 behind against Cheeky Chico. And Ice Age and Steve-O. Ice Age with a slender lead. Steve-O at the table though. And Mr. Fox has taken the win against Mark Shark. So it's now 3-1 to Team Omega against VP4 TV. But Steve-O should be all square. Oh dear, that's an awful shot. That is awful. I mean, how do you manage to miss that 8 ball? I do not know. I mean, I can't get blamed for that. That is an absolute shocker. An absolute shocker of an 8 ball there from Steve-O. And his bottle's gone. No way in a month of Sundays should you ever be missing that 8 ball. And from having an odds-on certainty 4 racks apiece, he's now 5-3 behind. Well, that's an expensive meal, that. An Italian on a Saturday night. That's overcut. And I think Steve was wanting this handed him on a plate, and it ain't going to happen. I mean, that cut there was so tight, it was far easier to punch the 2 ball around the table and play a safe. I mean, we need to start using a bit of common sense here, guys. £91, Jesus Christ. Now, let's see if this works. Hang on.
This is VP4 TV. Here is a list of scheduled upcoming matches in this year's VP4 2022 World 10 Ball Championship. I will try and stream as many matches as I can, although time zone differences will be an issue. I must thank those players who take this into consideration when arranging their matches. Please subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channels to join in the stream chat.
So we can see that Bill and Spectre Dawn are lined up to go at it on the one loss side on Tuesday night at 8 PM. I will be there for that. And again, Steve-O having fluked to 7 ball, the ball was it? I can't remember, the 8 ball into the side. Again, he's now missed a fairly straightforward 5 ball. And Paul has beaten Semi-Pro by 7 racks to 4 for Team Pinas. And meanwhile, Ice Age, a nice little drawback and a straight in 7 ball to get to the hill. And Steve-O has committed some howlers in this match. So he has you can't play this too heavy. You've got to play it soft enough to let the spin work. Yeah. Didn't get enough on it. Now, Fuzzy Dunlop is 6-3 down. Cheeky Chico on the hill in that match as well. So this is going to be a whitewash in the second lot of matches for VP4 TV. It is looking really grim. And from the evidence I've seen from Fuzzy and Stevo, they ain't helping themselves very much. Not very much at all. Breaking the system against 9-ball shot. Well, that match is now over now. Well, that was horrible. There's some really, really poor stuff there, I'm afraid. Right, so where were we? Breaking the system. They're into their second set of matches. Sergresh is now 4-all with Christian. Christian was 4-2 down. He's now got it back all square. Larry's about to win that match with Bobby Barris by the look of it. But Larry's 6-1 up. Bobby Barris getting 5 and out though. It could turn very quickly. And Bankster is 4-2 up against Witt. This match down here, we've got Team Pinas for their second point in the board. But the final match is, or the final match that's going to be played is Paul against Little Wolf, and that's just started because these other matches are over because of, well, Bill's won and Semi-Pro is going to get the forfeit against Apollo, who has not shown. So that is going to be a win for them. We know that. So what we're looking for here is to try and omit another disaster here for VP4 TV. But I'm afraid it's not. It's not looking good. We've lost the first two matches. We've got Cheeky Chico in the hill against Fuzzy Dunlop, who's getting last two, and that looks all but over. Let's get in. And Cheeky Chico is about to seal the deal here. And it's another win. And it's a whitewash in the second lot of matches for VP4 TV. We're now 5-1 down. And it is grim. So the final matches in that top tie are Cheeky Chico against Stevo. And Stevo will be getting like the 8-ball or something like that. He'll not be getting a great deal. And Fuzzy Dunlop against Mr. Fox. Fuzzy will probably getting maybe 7 and out. Possibly last two or something like that. It might be last two. We'll wait and see what happens when the rooms go up. And then we've got Christian, for breaking the system, has now taken the lead against Sergresh by 5 racks to 4. And Larry still on the hill against Bobby Barris. And Witt is trailing by 1 now against Bankster. So Witt is trying his damnedest to get back in it. So this breaking the system are looking fairly good at the moment. If Witt can turn around that match there. They're looking for a whitewash in their second set of matches if they can get it done. We've got Little Wolf is now... Oh, did Little Wolf show up? Little Wolf must have appeared because they're now playing. Paul and Little Wolf are playing. And that'll be the last match in that group tonight. So I'm looking for a consolation result here for our team. Ice Age already 1-0 up against Mark Sharp. Ice Age getting a 5-ball. Again, that's tough. And Cheeky Chico and Steve-O have just started. And Mr. Fox and Fuzzy Dunlop, that room's still not up. What's happening there? It's not shown in the bracket. Bobby Barris says, I don't feel playing anymore, I quit. was he not the captain? Bobby Barris has had enough. And we're not even halfway through the league season. And he's bottling out. Now let's have a look. That's 9-ball shots, isn't it? Well, Bobby's taking the defeat badly. Right. Well, how grim is this looking now? Well, Ice Age is now 2-0 up against Mark Sharp. Mr. Fox and Fuzzy Dunlop are underway. Let's have a look at this match and see what's going on here. And remember, Ice Age getting the 5-ball. Mark Sharp can't see the 3. So again, this is... I don't know whether the line's there to get that. No. So again, the mistake's happening at the wrong time. And if Ice Age can get the 3 and the 4, he's going to be 3-0 up. He just needs to then pot the 5. Not how I would have played that. But he's certainly going to have an angle to get up the table. He's only dangerous hooking himself. But that isn't hooked, and that's going to be 3-0. Oh dear. Commentator's curse there. That's done Mark Shark a favour. But can Mark Shark pot these 4 balls? Get himself out into the table onto the 6. Well, there's a gift. A fairly simple enough 5-ball. And Ice Age has committed a foul, hit the ball unintentionally. This needs to watch the side pocket. Oh dear. And a result has come through. Christian has beaten Sergeresh by 7 racks to 5. Remember, Christian was getting 5 and out. So he's getting the ultimate handicap there now. Mark needs to watch the scratch here. with the pace in this cue ball, because look at where the cue ball was going. So a sigh of relief for Mark, because he should have been 3-0 down. Ball in the break. No shot in the one. And another result through. Well, that result was always on the card. Semi-Pro has won that match against Apollo 999 because that was a forfeit. So Mark Sharp ducking for cover. Again, he's not got the cover. Quick look, see how things are going. Steve was 1-0 up against Cheeky Chico. Mr. Fox is 2-0 up already against Mr. Fuzzy Dunlop. And Bankster is tied at 4 racks all with Wits, so Wits come right back into it against Bankster. That is the breaking the system 9-ball shots tie. And Paul is 2-1 up against Little Wolf for Team Pinas against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. But it's still going to be a win for Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. They're already 5-2 up, and the worst result it can be is 5-3. Whereas it's the other side of the coin for VP4 TV. It's damage limitation again. We're up in 1, we're down in 2 in the final matches, and that needs to turn around one way or another. But some of the evidence I've seen tonight is not pretty. Loads of self-inflicted damage, and Mr. Fox is going to be 3-0 up in a second. Yes, I am, Potman. Yeah, there's been some pretty poor performances here. I mean, that's putting it mildly. I mean, Steve-O's played some really poor crap tonight, what I've seen. And Fuzzy Dunlop, missing simple 2 balls like that, just giving opportunities for Mr. Fox to go 4-0. He's a bit straight in this 7. You have to punch this a bit. Now he's leaving himself in the bedhead territory, but he's going to have a good angle to drop up for the 9. Yeah, this is going to be 4-0. Right, we've got Mark Sharp tied at 2-all with Ice Age now at the moment. We know Fuzzy Dunlop's 4-0 down. Steve-O is now 2-1 up against Cheeky Chico. So, again, we're looking for consolation prizes here in this tie. Paul is tied 2 racks all for Team Pinas against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, but that's a result for Lovely Bunch of Coconuts regardless. It's either going to be 6-2 or 5-3. Breaking the System are looking good as far as a 4-1 lead at the moment. Bankster and Witt are tied at 5-all. Let's jump into that one, because Witt's battled to stay in this match. Now that 3 and 7 aren't set. Now, let's have a look at this 2. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be playing this 2 ball with a bit of right English to cut it down the rail onto the 6 and bump the 3 and hope I get lucky. And I think Witt tried something like that. He's got lucky in the sense that his left bankster hooked, but he's going to jump this and cut the 2 onto the 6 anyway. And he's got a shot in the 2. Well, he's got to be careful of the 4 ball. And he's got to be careful with the 8. In fact, it might be better just to bump the 8 and leave the cut in the 3. He might be able to brush off the 7 to get out into the table for the 4. So this is where you've got to be thinking in your feet. Well, he's actually gone behind the 8, and the 4 was always going to be a problem. But he's actually, I think, gone through far enough. Yeah, he's fine. So Bankster should be 1 away from another win for Team Omega. So 9 into the side for a 6-5 lead. And it's now 3-2 to Chico against Steve-O. And it's 4-1 to Mr. Fox. So grim reading it is. Mark Sharplow has gone into the lead against Ice Age. Of course, Mark Sharp never had a first round match. Chico forfeited that. Mark then lost his second match to Mr. Fox, and he's got a chance to redeem himself in this 3rd match. But the danger is he's given that 5 ball to Ice Age. The other matches, there's only that one left, and Little Wolves tied up at 3-3 with Paul in the bottom match. So that could go either way. Larry and Sergeresh are underway. It's one rack all in that match. But this one with Witt and Bankster. Witt at the table. Well, this is awkward. It's an awkward cut. And it's a high angle, so it's difficult to get good on this 5-6. It's nowhere near set as a combo. Now, I think he can feather the 5 and play the billiard. It's just a very, very thin feather and play the billiard onto the 6. It's got to go in, but he's hit it too hard. It needed to be thinner than that, and he's escaped. He's got a lucky roll. So the league matches have been on tonight for 90 minutes so far. And this might be going behind the 8 ball. Well, it's come out, so Witt has a reprieve. But can he hold his nerve to take this match all the way? No, he's had a bang. And again, there was, a big bang to get back behind the 7. You've got to get the line of the pot. And, well, if Bankster can pot these remaining 4 balls, he'll take the win. Now, can he avoid running into the 9? Let's have a look. It looks very likely he would hit the 9, but he could stun the 7 in and take the 9 right out of the equation. He's going with top here. Yeah, he's just leaving it more awkward than 8 doing that. I mean, if he had stunned that around 2 rails and come down the table, he'd have 8 into the side. Left it awkward. And it's going to be the thin cut on the 9 for the match. I expect him to get this in every day of the week. I mean, this is a comfortable cut in the 9 ball. It's comfortably off the rail. You just got to trust your eyes. And in it goes. And Witt had his chance. Thump to 6 ball to get onto that 7, and that was it. So 7 racks to 5 for Bankster. So confirmation with that match. And that gives the second result on the board for 9 ball shots. So they've got it back to 4-2. Now in the final 3 matches, Larry's 2-1 up against Sergeresh, who's getting the last 2. And these other 2 matches have just started between Witt and Bobby Barris and Christian and Bankster. But the nightmare continues. Although Mark Shark has now got a good lead for Team VP4 in our final matches. He's 5-2 up against Ice Age, but the rest of it, well, it's improved slightly. Cheeky Chico's tied at 3-3 with Steve-O. It's 4-2 to Mr. Fox against Fuzzy Dunlop. So we'll leave that as it is. The bottom match in the Team Piñas Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. Little Wolves 4-3 up against Paul. So again, that match could still go either way, the way it's looking. And Witt and Bobby Barris about to go as a Christian and Bankster. Christian getting 6 and out against Bankster. So that's not that's going to have Bankster up against it if Christian can pot some balls. We'll see how that goes. But this is it's not going to be a major turnaround for VP4. But well, Chico's is taking the lead against Steve-O. He's got a 4 racks to 3 lead, and Mr. Fox is 4-3 up against Fuzzy Dunlop. So Fuzzy's got 1 back. Mark Sharp has now just lost the next rack. He's now 5-3 in front. So anything can happen in these last matches, but we need to get something out of it just to make the scoreboard look a bit better. I mean, we've already lost. It's just how much we're going to lose by. No, it isn't Potman. That's why I was asking Steve why my rating went down last week. And bear in mind, I haven't played 9-ball for a long time. But I went into a room to set the tablecloth the right colour ball match, whether it be the league or the ladder or whatever. You don't have a ladder rating. You don't have a league rating that just changes. Your overall rating changes in whatever game it is, in whatever format you play it. Apart from doubles, that is. I think that's basically what Steve said last week. So this is probably going to go 2 hours or more again by the time some of these matches finish. Some of them are taking like 40 minutes. Let's have a quick look. I'm scared to get into any of these rooms. Steve-O's 4-3 behind. Mr. Fox has got Fuzzy Dunlop 4-3 behind. Yeah, we need a big turnaround in those last 2 matches. Mark Sharp needs to hang on to his 5-3 lead and try and build on it. Let's go in, see if we can avoid jinxing him. And Ice Age having to pot the 8 and 9 to get back to within 1, which he looks as if he's odds on to do here. And that 5-ball money ball is really dangerous. So Mark Sharp had a 5-2 lead. It's dwindling away. 4-ball into the side. A thin cut in the 1. And if the 2-ball goes up the table and back down the table, it'll be on the 2. Well, the cue ball's running all over the place. Running way loose, no control on it. He could have controlled that better. And it's gifted Mark Sharp a chance. Now, he's got the 2 and the 3. And the problem is the 5. The 5 is tight past the 7. What's he trying to do? He's just trying to leave himself straight on it. He's got loads of room. It's tight, but he has got loads of room to get past that 7. But it plays, I keep saying it, it plays in your mind when the 7-ball's sitting there like that. And that's why he's trying to cheat the pocket. And at that pace, they don't go in. And this is a gift for Ice Age if you can get any sort of touch in a 5 like that. When you're getting a 5-ball, it's suddenly 5 racks all. This is painful to watch. Now that was a 5 ball that went into the side there, so that's going to come back up. And Ice Age has no shot in the 1. Well, he's played the push out, and it's not the best push out in the world, because that 1 actually will cut, believe it or not, but it's very thin. And I think that was possibly an attempt at a bank. She's going to run in top of the cue ball, I think. No, it's just gone past. So this, quite look at the 3 ball. The 3 ball's fine. Now he just needs to come back off this 3. Stun it down the table on the left hand side. He's gone the right side, and this is going to end up in no man's land. And again, this is on the money ball for Ice Age. This has got to go in. And again, the pressure is telling, and now he's left the 5 on for another gift. And this match has rapidly gone downhill as well for VP4 TV. A 5-2 lead, and it's all been washed away. Ice Age on the hill. You make the mistake at the wrong time in this setup, you're doomed. 7 ball goes in. And it's another nightmare week for VP4 TV. They're not handling the pressure, these guys. You've got to think on your feet. And now Ice Age applies the noose a little tighter. Mark Shark locked up here on this 1 ball. 2 ball is guarding the 1 on that right side. Now I'm just thinking there, had he had the opportunity, would it not have been better for Mark to pot that 5 ball and play a deliberate foul and get rid of that money ball? Or, I mean, the 5 ball wouldn't come back up, would it? Not if he potted it deliberately with a deliberate foul. It only comes back up after the break, or if it goes down in the break. I'm just wondering whether he might have been wiser to pot that 5 and take the deliberate foul and force Ice Age to try and run out, but it doesn't matter. Once again, this time he's got to be getting rid of the 4 and 5. I think he's a bit straight in the 4. He can create a slight angle, and well, you've got to avoid the 9 ball here and control the pace so that you're leaving the shot in the 6. You need to draw away from the 9, get the pace right, have the shot in the 6, and don't hook yourself behind the 9, because that would be a really numpty shot to play. And Mr. Fox is beaten Fuzzy Dunlop by 7 racks to 3. Well, that wasn't a push out though, Potman. That wasn't a push out. Mark couldn't see the 2. Why didn't he just pot the 5 and give ball in hand? because it wouldn't be an easy table to run. And Little Wolf has beaten Paul by 7 racks to 4. And meanwhile, Mark Shark has got a dodgy cut in the 9 into the side. And it just goes in. And this is going all the way. And let's have a quick look. Steve-O is 5 racks all with Cheeky Chico. So these matches are in the balance here. Where Hill in this match, Mark Shark's had, what's he had? 6 balls still spinning, that's why. 3 ball is gone. He's got a shot in the 1, and now this needs a little dink just to come out into the table far enough to cut that 2 ball in. He shouldn't be trying to get down and try and get better. He just needs to come out. And you have to take your medicine sometimes. Now the problem with this is, he's got the cut, and he's probably running into the 7. So he needs to hit it with enough force that he's going to bump the 7 out of the way and at least be able to see the 4. And he's bumped it. He hasn't gone the 2 rails. He's bumped straight into it, and now he's going to have to jump escape. And again, this is happening at the wrong time, because if he doesn't get this safe, or at worst, he doesn't want to be missing it altogether. He wants to hit it. Ice Age is going to come to the table with a possible shot in a 4 and a 5 over the side pocket for the match. Cue ball is going to scratch. Well, there's the nightmare complete. The nightmare is complete. Ice Age with ball in hand. Just pot the 4, come anywhere down this end of the table, and 5 into the side. And it's been a horrible night again. Well, that's not exactly what I'd have been doing. I mean, that's just really, really poorly executing shots here and not knowing how to play a particular shot. I mean, there was no way in this earth you would ever be near that 9 ball. And Mark Shark's getting this handed to him in a plate. And he's got to hold himself together here to get this done, because there's no way he was ever thinking that he was coming back to the table. And don't hook yourself behind the 9. Well, I would still go forward with a bit of inside. I don't like drawing to this 8 ball. It's dangerous. It's dangerous because of the angle. I would go forward and down the right past the side pocket. And I would keep going. And that'll do. Now again, all you need to do is pot the 8 and just let the cue ball come out. You don't need to do anything with the cue ball. Just pot the 8 and just let the cue ball take its track with a nice pace, and you're on the 9. Well, Cheeky Chico has beaten Steve-O by 7 racks to 5, so Chico won the last 2 racks. And Mark Shark has finally got another point for VP4 TV, but this does not look nice. But Mark Shark should never have had that shot at pinching the match, because Ice Age should never have locked up behind the 9 ball. That was just really, really poor. So, where have we got to? Well, we've got Breaking the System leading by 4 matches to 2, and in their third matches, we've got Bobby Barris, who's getting 6 and out, is 3-1 up against Witt. We've got Larry now tied at 4 racks all with Sergaresh. And in the final match, we've got Bankster 3-2 up. So this match is in the balance. This match could go either way at the moment. Meanwhile, if we look at the Team Omega VP4 TV, Team Omega win by 7 matches to 2, and out of all of that, Mark Sharp won that final match, and who won? Where did we get our other point from? Oh, Mark Sharp won the one in the bottom. Where did we get our other one from? I'm struggling to see where we get our other one. Oh, aye, that was the other one we got, was the forfeit. Aye, it just dawned on me before Cheeky Chico showed up. So we actually only won one match tonight again, and that was Mark Sharp. I mean, he won the first one by forfeit, and that was the best that we had all night. The rest were all defeats, and I'll tell you, we deserved it. You know that we actually deserved to get our asses handed to us, because some of the stuff I seen was awful. Really bad. Well, it'll be all changed next week. We need to get. We need to find a team that's got a bit of bottle about them. You've got to be able to hold yourself together and keep your mind on the job, because there was evidence of people just sort of losing the plot slightly with some of the silly stuff I saw. Right, so the only matches left are in the match that's in the balance, the one between Breaking the System and 9-Ball Shots. We've got Bobby Barris getting 6 and out against Whit. That's a tall order. Bobby Barris has got a comfortable 4 racks to 1 lead. So let's just say that he's going to win that match. That's for 4-3. Larry's 4-5 down against Sergaresh. That could go either way. And Bankster is 5-2 up against Christian. Now, if we give those two results, the one with Bobby Barris and Bankster, that's 4-all. So in theory, this is a match that could decide it for the night. Larry tied at 4 racks all against Sergaresh. Sergaresh getting the last 2. And Larry's played the right shot to try and get out onto the 4, but he's missed the one. And Sergaresh with a chance. Now again, he should be holding this cue ball. He shouldn't be letting this run forward. He should be getting into it and holding the cue ball. So he's letting it. He's again, that was played with no level of confidence. You've got to play the right shot. He had to get into that cue ball to stop it. It's leaked away. Okay, he still had a shot in the 5, but that's not where he wanted to be in the 5. When these guys are bottling out playing the right shot, and this is just handing it in a plate to Larry. And Larry will be on the hill. Well, Sergaresh, you look at that 4-ball, you look at how far the cue ball was off the cushion, there was no reason for him not to get a hold of the cue ball and stop it and leave himself nicer on that 5 than just letting it leak away. Apart from the fact he missed the pot in the 4, it wasn't played with any level of confidence at all. Larry's had at least 1 ball in the break. And he's no shot on the 1. Let's have a quick look. See how these other ones are going. Well, Witt has got a rack back against Bobby Barris. Bankster is 5-3 up against Christian. But it still looks like this is going to be the overall decider, this one. So, Larry's played the push out. Sergaresh can't pot the 1. But he could bank the 1 down onto the 3 and 2 and maybe get lucky. No, he's not taking any risk. Well, not getting to a rail. Larry now, he's going to have to run into these to get a bump. And he's no idea where this is going to finish. Well, he could really... I think he's got a nice enough bank and he can get out for the 3. And if he doesn't hook himself behind the 5, he's going to be home and dry here, Larry. And Sergaresh should be kicking himself because that... going back to that last rack there, that 4-ball he played was played with no confidence whatsoever. And lo and behold, Larry trying to control that cue ball. He's missed the 4, but he's got away with it. Well, where were you, Chico? You missed the party. Well, you missed the first match anyway. Thank God you missed that. It gave us our second point of the evening. We only actually won 1 match. Yeah, but I'm very disappointed with some of the shots my team played. Complete lack of confidence with some of them. And Sergaresh isn't much better in this match when he's had a chance of winning it. Yeah. Well, he can't obviously do that when it gets to the top of the hour, as long as he had long enough notice. Well, Larry's going to surely get this over this time. Probably just draw back for the 8 in the side. And that's fine. So this match is done. And the important thing now is this is the one that we thought would be the decider for this tie. Because the other 2 are well, we'll look at the scores at the moment. So it's a win for Larry. But Sergaresh has got to be kicking himself. Right, so that result for Larry goes through, 7 racks to 5. Now we have Bankster on the hill against Christian. So that's decided the match. So these 2 matches, if 9-ball shots win them, it's just consolation matches because they're going to lose 5-4 anyway at the best. So that match that Larry got there, Sergaresh didn't quite give it away, but he bottled out in a proper shot, wasn't prepared to play it, and in the end played a sort of nothing shot, and that cost him. So, if we look, we've got a lovely bunch of coconuts with a 6-2 win against Team Piñas. Little Wolf eventually showed up, but Apollo 999, whoever the hell that is, he's nowhere to be seen. So I'd be dumping him straight out the door. I'd be getting rid of him, whoever the hell he is. And of course, Team Omega have handed it an ass handing, or handed our ass again to VP4 TV by 7 matches to 2. So it's grim reading. Very grim. Right, so there is, well, that's the result just come through. Bankster has won by 7 racks to 3, so that brings 9 ball shots up to 5-3 behind. So Bobby Barris is looking for another consolation win against Witt, and Bobby Barris getting 6 and out. Oh, 15 minutes before 7 o'clock. I never knew that. Mark, are you there? That was shit, by the way. See some of the stuff I saw you play. Bloody awful. That 8 ball you missed in the top rail. Unbelievable. Are you on the drink or something tonight? Absolutely shocking. You should be ashamed of yourself. Well, talking about being ashamed of yourself, look at Witt. I mean, he's at it as well. I mean, this is handed on a plate here to Bobby Barris. Now, he just needs to come out into the table to cut this 6 ball. He just needs to chip the 5 in on its left-hand side. Well, he's managed to draw back. So, Bobby Barris with a 6-2 lead and 6 and out. Remember, this really means nothing in terms of the overall scheme of things, because breaking the system of 1, this is just to make the scoreboard look a wee bit more impressive. Certainly a lot more impressive than what this looks like down here. Team Omega 7, VP4 TV 2, Mr. Fox and Cheeky Chico, the 2 strong guns in that team. I think they won all the matches, didn't they? I think they did. Yeah, Mark Shark got that 1 win against Ice Age, so. And these are the guys giving out the handicaps. VP4 TV couldn't get any advantage over them at all. And I thought that was a good tactic. Well, he tried the 1-2-9 combo there. And, well, Bobby Barris, I don't know how good he is with a jump stick. We're about to find out. So this has gone a bit quicker than last week. Bear in mind there's been forfeits tonight as well, though that's part and parcel of it. But we're just over 2 hours. Now, is he high enough? Yeah, he was high enough. Now, is Witt going to try and play the 2-9 combo, or is he going to stun across and play on the 2? Well, there's your answer to that. So in goes the 9. Back to trailing by 3, but last chance saloon every rack here for Witt. 2 ball thought about going in. It's dry. And a cut in the 1. That's never going to get there. Cut it way too soon to the rail. So we'll give Witt the 1 and the 2. We'll give him the 3. But unbelievably, he's missed the 1. I don't know what the hell's happened to a lot of these guys tonight. Because some of the misses are absolutely shocking. I mean, they're playing like a bunch of noobs. Some of them. No naming names, but they know who they are. I don't think I've seen so many duff shots as I've seen tonight. And there's another one. Bobby Barris has all the room in the world to go on the 2. He's suddenly found a way to get himself behind the 8 ball. Well, this is going to have to go shallow, this jump cue, to get over this 8 ball. You've got to get length on the jump, so you need to go shallower with the cue angle. And he's played it right. He's also got the cut in the 3, and the angle that he has is perfect for coming over for the 4. And so he's now running away from the 5. Well, he could have done with hitting that knuckle there. That would have done him a big favour. But he's got the cut, and he only needs to get the 5 and the 6 for the match. Again, a lifeline for Witt. Well, this has got to get the cue ball to the rail and out. And this is a bit straight. Oh yeah, I don't believe he could miss this. A straight in 8 ball, stop the cue ball for the 9 to survive another rack. Well, is Witt going to get out of jail here? Well, he's broke. But he's broke dry. And quick look at that 8-9. Well, that 8-9 can certainly be made. It's nowhere set though. Right. Here we go. Is Witt going to hold his nerve? How straight has he got himself on the 3? Absolutely dead straight, and he's overhit that by a country mile as well. And you can see where players are getting found out. They are getting found out big time with their control in the cue ball. Just a huge draw, and no shot in the 4. And what's more, this match is over because Bobby Barris has the 4 into the left, the 5 into the right, and as long as he doesn't bump the 6 with the 5, he'll have the 6 into the same pocket for the match. Well, Witt couldn't get the job done. And the big draw just to try and get the cue ball somewhere near the 4 was no good. There was no control on it at all. And a 7-4 win to Bobby Barris. So that's the consolation for 9-ball shots. They got it back to 4. They won those final 2 matches. So overall tonight we've had a win for Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, 6 matches to 2, including the forfeits. We have a win for Breaking the System by the odd match, 5 matches to 4. And we had a win for Team Omega by 7 matches to 2. And this isn't going to make good reading. So the event summary shows VP4 TV slipping down the rankings, and Team Pinas are at the bottom, having 2 and 6. VP4 TV having 3 and 5, and Omega 4 and 4, and 9-ball shots 4 and 4. Breaking the System 5 wins and 3 losses, and at the top the Team Coconut are 6-2. So there's a rapid turnaround needed here, one way or another. But Lovely Bunch of Coconuts are well in the lead, and VP4 TV's target now is to try and get to the playoffs. We've still got half the season to go, though. I mean, there's no need to panic, but now's the time to get the finger out, boys. I think that's what needs to happen. So the team will be changed up for next week, I can guarantee you that. And I'll have a look at the results, but I think Mark Sharp's earned his spot simply from the fact that he won a match. But I don't think our team could have played any worse tonight. In fact, I think we've played better than this over the matches. And we've come out with at least something a wee bit more respectable earlier on, but the last 2 weeks have been poor. I mean, I'm to blame for that last week. 2 gubbins in the first 2 matches. Managed to scrape through with a handicap match I was giving away at the end there last week. So we've all played our part in it, so we'll change up next week. In fact, what's the schedule for next week? I never looked. Let's have a quick look. See who's played who next week. Right, next week at the same time, it's VP4 TV against Breaking the System, 9-ball shots against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, and Omega against Team Pinas. That's how it'll be next week. Don't forget, Tuesday night, let me just do the banners. Tuesday night, unless Stubb and Albinario have set anything, we have the match on the one loss side between Mr. Bill and Spectre Dawn, and that's 8 PM. That'll be 3 PM Eastern, 2 PM Central Mountain Time, noon Pacific, and that'll be a race to 13. And the winner of that match between Bill and Spectre Dawn will play Barkers. And then, of course, the winner of that match will play the loser of the Albinario Stubb match. So that's what we've got to look forward to. So we just need to keep an eye and see when Stubb and Albanara are going to play. It's more than likely going to be at a time that will suit me, I would think, because of the time zone differences. So well done to the winners tonight. Better luck next time for VP4 TV. And I'm off to try and catch a bit of the snooker. I don't know, is it just on Eurosport or is it on Quest? Does anybody know? Anyway, I'll go and find that out for myself. So with that, guys, I'm going to check and see if my end credits will work, because nothing much is working well. I am going to thank you for watching, and I will bid you good night. Let's see if this will work.
Good night, ladies.
That worked. Let's see if this will work. No, it won't. Let's try it again.
Good night, ladies.
Put 'em up, put 'em up.